bright spring morning in Johannesburg. All is lovely in the garden. A perfect day for a few words from a wordsmith. Surely it's every journalist's dream to write a book. Just imagine on a beautiful day like this, you can sit out in the sun and write your book. Well, I'm here in Houghton in Johannesburg to meet a journalist who's living that dream and still bears the scars. British writer David James Smith is a journalist turned author in a very competitive market.
My Mandela book sold 5,000 copies in hardback in the UK in the first month, and I would say it was just outside the bestseller list for those sales. So that was, we were all pretty happy. The publishers were happy, I was happy. It would have been nice if we got into those bestseller lists, but it was doing pretty well.
David James Smith has been writing for a living since the day he joined the Harrow Observer in London 36 years ago.
You get an agent who tries to get you the best possible deal, and then you try to persuade the publisher, particularly if you're a non-fiction writer with a lot of research ahead of you, as I always am, then you want the money to be loaded up front as much as possible to buy you the time. So like most people, I'm not a full-time book writer. I have a contract to write articles for the Sunday Times magazine in London, and so I juggle the two.
In 1993 he wrote his first book, and it was far from easy getting established in the trade.
Certainly when I got this first commission to write this book, it was about a very famous murder case in Britain. It was called the James Bulger case. Two 10-year-old boys had murdered a toddler up in Liverpool. And so I did what every journalist should. I went up to Liverpool and stationed myself on top of the story. But I needed somewhere to live, so I rented this, very grungy little 2 up, 2 down house in a place on the Wirral across the water from Merseyside. It was like £8 a week in rent. And I was struggling to find the money to pay the rent, and it was a pretty horrible place to come back to at nights, and so I used to spend a lot of time drinking with contacts in bars in Liverpool.
17 years on, he's in South Africa to promote his book on the early life of one of the world's greatest icons.
He's human after all, like the rest of us. But, very few humans ascend to greatness in the way that he has, and in many ways the fact that he had the same flaws and weaknesses that many of us do makes him all the greater, and his influence in modern history is just enormous.
And his advice to an aspiring author?
The most difficult thing about writing a book is actually sitting down and writing it. I mean, everyone, so many journalists you meet say, oh yeah, I'm going to write a book one day, and boy, it's hard work. It demands an awful lot, not just of yourself, but of all those around you who have to put up with the fact that you're going up to the office for, very fixed hours every day, and your head is completely somewhere else. My wife and children will tell you what a nightmare I am when I'm, deep inside a book, and I don't want to know about anything else. The rest of the world kind of ceases to exist. So you better be prepared to put in the hard work.
So look before you leap. Think before you write for a living.